What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video I talk about the second coming of Amazon FBA. What's better than Amazon FBA? It's retail arbitrage all over again on Walmart. People are making it rain with this business model. So I'm going to talk about how it's done, where you can find these goods, and why I'm so excited about it. So I've got all that and my top 5 tips to make this business model work. I'm super fired up about this. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. Okay, so before we jump into my screen share, I just wanted to remind everyone that my email is below in case you want to talk about either full-on Walmart automation and or how to do it yourself. Just send me an email. I'll be more than happy to jump on a call with you. But the purposes of this video are to show you the absolute best way to run a Walmart store right now, 2023, the end of it. This model is destroying the competition right now, and a lot of people might be surprised at what this model is, but essentially it is a model that is a hybrid model. And what I mean by that is it's 2 types of store in one. One is WFS, for which those of you that don't know means Walmart Fulfillment Services, and is the equivalent, it's the sister of Amazon FBA. So what does that mean? That means that you get all the stuff, you buy it, and you ship it into Walmart, and you let them handle all the shit for you, right? It's the easy way, but I will say this much. This is what made a ton of people money back in the day when Amazon is using this particular model. It's good old-fashioned retail arbitrage, people, which pretty much means buy something low in the stores and sell it for a heck of a lot higher on Walmart. And right now, the sky is the limit, people. There's things all over the place. And I will show you in a second some of the stores that you can do this at, as well as I'll show you a couple different items that I've done it with and that I will continue to do it with because this stuff's working. And through all that stuff that I'm going to do, I'm also going to give you my top 5 tips for making this business model work, as I do feel that this model will continue to crush it for a very long period of time. So it's the new Amazon FBA. People are making it rain. I cannot stress that enough. It's very exciting for me, having come up in the retail arbitrage world, and Amazon now being able to be born again and do it all over again on Walmart. So nothing makes me happier than that. So let's go ahead and jump into the first tip that you must know. Obviously, Walmart, this is where we're selling. It's a great model. This is where you want to focus on right now, as the margins are extremely high, much higher than those margins on Amazon. And I'm smiling from ear to motherfucking ear, people. That's how happy I am about this whole thing. All right, so tip number 1. Before I even get into tips, just don't get too cocky. We're headed into Q4, and Q4 is when things do start to get dangerous with this type of model, particularly if you are incorporating drop shipping, which you should be. So be very cautious. Only allow that to scale a little bit, and we'll talk more about the scaling here in a second. But that brings me to tip number 1. You should have a reseller license. Now, I know some people are out there like, oh, holy shit, Liz, I didn't think we're going to have to get really technical about this. This scares me to death to get a reseller license. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. You grab a license from the state, and now you've got to report to them. It could be quarterly, it could be twice a year, it could be annually, it could be any of the above. So you got to report to them in terms of what you made and then pay them for taxes off of that. Now, you can register that on the side of Walmart so that you do get reimbursed for that. And that's what I recommend you do. However, it will give you the ability to buy from sites like this, like 888 Lots. 888 Lots has a lot of really good specials, and also they're going to ask you for that reseller license, and they're also not going to charge you tax. So that's part of the benefit of having that and working with that. Now, other sites like Home Depot also take that reseller license, and they'll allow you to enter it. That way you don't pay tax on your purchases. And that's just so that you don't get taxed double. So it's really important that once and you do decide to do this, you do get that reseller license, at least in your home state. At some point as you grow, and again, I'm not an accountant, so don't take my advice as financial advice. You might want to consult your accountant as to which states you do need it with. However, I would start off by getting it with your state and then expanding forward with depending on what your accountant tells you. So many sites allow you to enter it, and you can make purchases online, have them shipped to your home, and still save that tax on there. Tip number 2 is you definitely, if you're drop shipping with Amazon, you want to set up an Amazon Business Prime account. But I will say this much, in order to do so, you are going to need an LLC. Now, here's where you got to pay a little bit of attention. Every now and then, Amazon does get finicky about this kind of crap, and they will shut down Business Prime accounts. So make sure you have a spare LLC and you can get a spare account, because if not, you're going to get caught with your pants down, and you don't want to do that, especially not in this game. But here is an extra pro tip for you. What you can do in the meantime, and what you're probably going to eventually do as soon as you get banned from Amazon Business Prime enough times, and you will if you reach the $1 million mark, trust me, it's going to happen. You do want to have some spare Prime regular people accounts. Regular people, like, what the fuck is that, right? Just regular standard Prime accounts. You want to have some of those, have them in everybody's name in the house. You can have business accounts like Plum cards and things like that set up so that you can have multiple accounts. And they will begin to ask you for statements. And in some cases, very severe cases, they will even ask you for a driver's license. I'm starting to sound like one of those guys from a commercial. In the event that you start to bleed to death, to get your head severed or your arm or limb cut off, do not call us. It was not our pill. So I'm starting to sound like one of those guys, but it's going to happen, people. I'm sorry to tell you that. It is going to happen. I do sound like one of those commercial guys with the Viagra pills, but don't worry. Nothing like that's going to happen to you. All right, tip number 3, don't just settle for Amazon Business Prime. Use some other sites like Home Depot and Costco works too. And there's even sites like 888 and even Walmart itself works. Like, this is just fun. You can do it on any type of site available out there that sells goods. And last I checked, there's a ton of them. I'll show you a couple products that work for us in the past here in a second, but that is tip number 3. There's no magic to it. Just use as many sites, as many stores that have reliable shipping that you can as possible. All right, so here's a couple of examples of some of the products that were found at some of these stores that I'm talking about. So we've got these tapes, which sell on Walmart. You'll see here in a second what the price of these tape are. I'm not even sure if I'm grammatically saying that correct. We've also got these Flintstone vitamins, which you can see they're $15.42, $23.90 on Walmart, typically $26.99. These are fulfilled by Walmart, unfortunately, but when they do run out, these should go pretty well. This is a one-touch air fryer, $129.99 on Walmart. Let's take a look at what that air fryer costs here in the store. There was a tape. Air fryer is $79.99. In the store. You see them, how many they have here, $79.99. The tape was $39. You'll remember that it was $20, but $39 here in the store. We've got these potato chips, wrap snacks. Oh, they got Snoop Dogg on them. I really want to eat some of those. $15.98. Maybe I'll start to be able to wrap like him. $15.98. And let's take a look at what wrap snacks are. $29.70, so almost half the price. But again, you can use your tax exempt certificate in a store like Costco, which is where these were taken from. So you'll see there's plenty of stores to choose from. You don't just have to go to Amazon Business Prime themselves. All right, tip number 4 is as it inches closer to the holiday, and this is just one where a lot of people did get caught with their pants down, stop doing so much drop shipping and start to lean more on WFS. Remember, WFS is the second coming of Amazon FBA. So what does that mean? That means load up on a ton of shit and send it into Walmart. Make them responsible for hitting their deadlines. So a lot of your money is not going to come from drop shipping, because if you rely too heavily on drop shipping, you will get suspended. It just gets too hard to keep up with the demand. Even Amazon cannot keep up with the demand. So make sure you keep that in mind. Which brings me to the last and final tip. You're still going to have to lean on the track taco. I know I always make fun of this and I always say, like, I'm hungry for a taco truck. Yes, you're going to need to track the taco sometimes, and tracking the taco costs a little bit of money. So make sure you do have track taco credits available just in case you get caught in a pinch and you're going to have to use them as some of the tracking numbers. It's not going to affect you as much as it used to in the past. People would rely on this way too much. Now it's going to be a fair amount of mix, and it's going to mix in with the WFS and with the regular straight up two-step drop shipping and all that good stuff. So you won't get screwed on this, especially if you tone down the drop shipping a notch coming up into the holidays. I can't stress that enough, but that's basically all my tips. So other than that, again, if you want to talk about how to get a full-on automation store done for you from A to Z, my email is below, as well as if you want to do it yourself, I'm available. But other than that, questions and comments go below. I'll always personally answer those, and I'll see you guys next time.